Hey guys, welcome back to the Sim and Kayla. It's Sim, and I'm kind of excited about today's video because I'm talking about Howard, and Howard is one of my favorite things to talk about, I feel like. But I'm about to spill a little bit of tea. Nothing too crazy. Honestly, this is just a Q&A about Howard for any incoming students. So not just HU24 or HU25, 26. I don't know if we're getting that far, but you could be a transfer student. You could be, I don't know, anybody who wants to know anything about Howard. So I opened up, Kayla and I opened up like our Instagram DMs, as well as, you know, talk to friends and people who already went to Howard or go to Howard, just to see like questions that they had before they came and get like a general consensus of like what we wanted to know before we came. So yeah. Okay, so the first question is, which is the best freshman dorm to live in? Okay, so my freshman year, I stayed in CHN because the quad wasn't open. And we had, for girls, we had CHN, and just Annex. And then for guys, it was Drew and Cook. Yeah, so 2 and 2 for each one. So for girls, I would say CHN to me over Annex. I just preferred CHN. I didn't have any rodent problems. Like, the rooms were newer. They have more updated appliances, really big mirrors. And this might sound superficial, but like, those mirrors hit, okay? I'll probably insert some pictures. They're probably from CHS, but CHS is like the older sister or older cousin to CHN. It's basically set the same, except it's like bigger and like it's designed, like the colors are a little bit prettier to me in my opinion. But CHN, I can't even really say it's newer than Quad because Quad was just recently renovated. So it's like the new appliances and stuff, it doesn't have a one-up on it in that way. And I also heard that Quad's rooms were bigger. I never got a chance to actually go in Quad. I know that they dealt with some flooding, but CHN also deals with like cold water sometimes. Like, we had a lot of issues in different times when they would just turn our water off to fix it. And we would have to like find somewhere to go take showers. I wouldn't say that was a reoccurring thing, like it happened over and over, but it happened at least maybe twice. So I mean, that's honestly Howard for you. I think that I would probably say Quad. My reasoning would be, as a dancer, like the stroll team, this probably doesn't matter to just the average person, but if you do want to dance in some capacity, like each dorm, each residence hall has a stroll team, except for Towers, because it's for freshmen. So to me, the best girl stroll team is Quad. So if you're taking that into consideration, then you'd want to stay in Quad. The bigger rooms, I really don't know that much about Quad. I think CHN and Quad are like right here. Next question, are the guys as fine as they say they are? And another question was, are Howard guys trash? But I feel like I can kill two birds with one stone and just combine the answer. So yes, the guys are as fine as they say, but the downside is it's never just like that they're fine. They'll be fine, yes, but they also are like kind of, I don't want to use the word trash because I'm trying to be more positive about the male species, but it's always something. Like, they can be fine in the face, but then they have a girlfriend, or they don't even like girls, or they are in their whole phase, which a lot of people are right now, but they won't tell you that you're in their whole phase. So you think that, you know, they're committed to you. Meanwhile, they're committed to 5 other young ladies on the campus. So I really would just say that you can see the fine face, but just know that 9 times out of 10, there is some fatal flaw that's just like, you didn't really even have to be like that. Like, what a waste of a face. But I will say, I do know some couples that have lasted, that are pretty beautiful, pretty solid. But is it a common thing at Howard? No. And before I came, like, I didn't really think that was true. I had like 2 young ladies from Detroit. I love them so much. They graduated and they basically were like, don't come here looking for a man, because half of them are gay and then the other half are just piss poor. You might be the exception. But just remember, like, in the back of your mind, admire the pretty face, but just proceed with caution is what I'm gonna say. Because not all guys are like that at Howard. But okay, sorry, I had an Amber Alert. Not an Amber Alert. It was in a state of, I don't know, some type of alert on my phone about how we have to stay until May 15th. Okay, the next question is, well, it says, my question is, does being at an HBCU encompassed by Black people assist you to learn more about Black culture and give you a sense of confidence in your identity? I definitely say that any HBCU that you go to is going to teach you a lot more about Black people than you ever thought, because one misconception that a lot of people have is that Black people are the same, and that is just not true. Not just students like from the Caribbean or African students or students just from anywhere. Students that, I'm from the Midwest, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I'll meet somebody who's from the South or somebody who's from the West Coast or the East Coast and be like, what in the heck are they talking about? Why do they walk like that? Why do they talk like that? Are they dressed like that? And it's just so interesting, and it's so like exciting for me, because it's like you learn so much about just Black people from places that you didn't think really differed from you until you get to, you know, go to class with these people, work with these people. And it's just, I think it's a wonderful experience, and you just learn so much. It's just, I don't even know how to describe this experience, but it's one of a kind, and I suggest to every person, if you can go to an HBCU, even if you don't go for undergrad, like let's say you're already at a university for undergrad, if you can go for grad, like just to, it's the culture, it is the experience, it's lovely. Can't really describe, but you just have to come. And then, does it give you a sense of confidence in your identity? For me, I think it definitely does, because once again, it just reaffirms like the beauty in Black people, especially being at Howard, just how smart everyone is, how driven everyone is. But I will say that it can be trying, because it seems like everyone is doing the thing. Like, it just seems like everyone is just on top of it. Like, they had this internship, they had that internship last summer, and now they're about to go work for this person, and they have their own nonprofit. By the way, her cousin works for, like, owns Dior. Like, it's just, it seems like it's a lot. But one thing that I've learned is that everything that appears to be perfect at Howard is not always that, especially with the student body. You think that this person has it all together, and then you get to know people and you pull back this little pretty layer that we have, and it's like, oh, okay, so whoa, that's a lot. That just goes to show that nobody is perfect. So while you're at Howard in particular, just try not to compare yourself to others, because your path is very different from your roommates or the girl in your class or the boy on your sports team. Everybody is there for different reasons. Everybody's coming from different backgrounds, and everybody has different goals. So just remember that nothing is as perfect as it looks, and when your time is your time, it is your time. Next question is, how long does it take to get into your major classes? So I'm assuming this means like, how long does it take, sorry, I want to say crisscross applesauce. How long does it take before you're out of prereqs? Honestly, I saw this year that I was basically doing things that I expected for my major. So freshman year, I feel like the entire freshman year is really just prereqs. You might have a sprinkle of a class that like can be counted for towards your major. I'm trying to think. I'm a strategic legal and management communications major. I never say that. I don't know why I just said that. I just usually say legal communications because that's my concentration. I had principles of persuasion, so that was pretty close. And I also had, oh my God, everything seems like I can't separate what was freshman year and what was sophomore year, because sophomore fall semester seems so far. Like it just seems like a distant dream because this semester was just cut so short. Yeah, so I think the most legal class that I had, legal communications class that I had, was principles of persuasion. So this year in general, I'm not doing fall and spring, I'm just gonna combine them. I had ethical issues in communication. I had tech writing for pre-law, philosophy. Ugh, God, that was a horrible experience. Spanish I had fall semester. Communications law, leadership and management communication. A lot of communications classes, obviously, I'm in school to see. Oh, intro to sports communication. That was a cool class that I had this year. So basically, yeah, I got more into communications classes and legal communications classes this year, sophomore year. How do you get into extracurriculars? How do you find out about them? Most clubs, orgs, whatever, have a week. So during that week, you get to come out to different events that they have and basically learn about the organization. So yeah, I feel like that's the best way to know about a certain org or any extracurriculars. Before I came to Howard, I was like, after I graduate, I'm done with dance. Like, it's just the time to let go. Played myself. As soon as I got to Howard, I was like, okay, I'm gonna need to figure out how to dance. I was contemplating minoring in dance, but I was just like, minoring in dance, that's too much. Like, now look at me, I'm trying to become a dance minor. So honestly, follow your heart. If you know yourself, do not try and play yourself. I heard about Bisonettes through my roommates actually at the time, freshman year. They had seen like my high school Grammy performance. They were like, oh my God, you should audition for Bisonettes, this and the third. And I was like, I don't think so. It's not really my speed, because I really was trained. I mean, I was trained in like hip hop, of course, pretty much everything. But the main focus, like what I had been doing in high school, was more contemporary, modern, like pre-professional company type stuff. So it was like, Bisonettes is like a basketball dance team and they do a lot of hip hop. So I was just like, I can do hip hop, but I don't enjoy it. Like, it's not my thing. I want to move. I want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was more dance department area, but I didn't minor in dance. So I was like, oh, once again, I really did play myself. For whatever reason, I decided to go to the audition anyways. And when I got to the audition, I was like, oh, they're twirling in here. We're going across the floor. Like, we're really, you know, stuff that I like doing. So that's how I heard about Bisonettes, through word of mouth. Org fair. So there's an org fair, I think, at the beginning of the year. And if you go, there's tables and the organizations have their books and they have their pictures and their poster boards and everything like that. And you really get to know about the organization. Would you suggest Howard if a student has never been away from their parents before? Yeah, I would. It depends on how far you're going. Like, DC is like 8 hours away from Detroit if you drive. I honestly was ready to go. I feel like it depends on your maturity level. If you are extremely dependent on your parents and you don't do simple things for yourself, it might be a little trying. Like, nobody's gonna do anything for you. And if you have an issue with that, then you might not want to go to school out of state. It's really important to know yourself and just think about the fact that you are not gonna have your parents there with you. Even times where you really wish that they were, like, they just won't be. I did it. I do it 1,000 times again, because you learn so much. Like, to me, there's nothing here for me in Michigan. Like, and DC is just a place where there are a lot of opportunities. And once again, meeting people from other areas makes me just want to travel more, see more, do more. So I would not take back my choice in 1,000 trillion billion years, because my other option would be Michigan State, and like everyone I know goes to Michigan State. I came to Howard, didn't know, I knew of people, but I didn't have a friend. Like I had to make friends. Like you grow up a lot faster. Like you learn things that you might not have learned if you hadn't stepped out of your comfort zone. The last question is, are the parties as fun as they look? It just depends. It just really truly depends. I've been to some parties that were a no-go, but I feel like that could happen anywhere. I just think that a lot of people say, who've been there longer than I have, are like, oh, Howard isn't the same, we need to bring back the culture or whatever. But I've had some pretty great times there, especially Darty season. Rip to 2020's Darty season. Moment of silence. It was gonna go crazy stupid dumb, okay? It was gonna go crazy stupid dumb. Even small things, like when it's a hot day and everybody's out in the yard, like people are painting, people are talking, playing music, jumping rope. Like it's just so beautiful. Like I love it so much. And I'm more of a kickback person versus a party thing, because I just feel like I like to see people. I like to know what's going on. House parties, I haven't been to a house, actually I lied. I've been to a couple of house parties this year. Big parties, like the ones at Bliss and stuff. I think I went to Bliss once this year, just because it's like I don't feel like wearing heels. Like dressing up is fun, but not every party do I want, especially if I'm about to be high off life. I don't want to have to worry about breaking my ankle in a heel. So the parties are fun. You just have to go to the right ones and make sure that you're willing to have a good time. Like it's something to do every weekend. And even if it's just something in the dorm, like you know how many times like I just went to a kickback in a dorm, or we just chilled in the dorm. Like it's always some fun to get into. So yeah, that concludes my portion of the tea at Howard, what to expect for incoming freshmen. Stay tuned for Kayla's part, because she's going to be answering a completely different set of questions. And if I didn't answer a question that you had in this video, then it might be in hers. So thanks again for watching, and see you guys next time.
She wants to lean, she want the Gucci. I ride with some harness on me, I got the blue cheek. Pull up in a Jeep, I put it on for